Council.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you approach the Armed Legislative Assembly about the matter of bringing a petition before this court?
No, we were approached by the petitioner, and on his own, he asked us to file this petition, so we filed it.
Did your petitioner, did your client approach the regional governor?
No, he did not.
Saying, in other words, you have not approached any of the duly constituted authorities of the arm in the matter of bringing a petition before this court to strike down the RH law?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You are aware, of course, of Muslim Mindanao Autonomy Act number 292?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have a copy of that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Can you read the guiding principles, section 3, paragraph H, in full, please, together with the introductory phrase in section 3.
The following principles constitute the framework upon which this act is anchored on Sharia.
Is anchored on Sharia, and this act is the Reproductive Health Act of the ARMM, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Section H, please.
The regional autonomous government shall consider, without bias, all effective natural and modern methods of family planning that are medically safe and legal in accordance with the standards set by the WHO, as well as registered and approved by the FDA, as well as the Assembly of the Rule IFTA of the Philippines.
Okay. Can you go to section 5? Also of the same act.
Your Honor, the provision on midwives for skilled attendance.
Okay. Of course, it's quite long, but basically requires the provision of skilled midwives for attendance at birth. What about section 6?
Emergency obstetric care.
Okay. So there is the provision that there should always be emergency obstetric care at every hospital. Section 7, please. And this you read in full, please.
All accredited health facilities in the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao which shall provide family planning services.
Okay. Section 8.
Maternal and newborn health care in crisis situation. The local government units and the Department of Health shall ensure that the minimum initial service package for reproductive health, including maternal and neonatal health care kits and services as defined by the Department of Health, will be given proper attention in crisis situation such as disasters, humanitarian crisis, minimum initial service package.
Okay. Okay. 9, 10, and 11.
All local government units.
You can summarize. We will allow that for now.
Well, 9 talks about LGUs conducting annual maternal death review. Section 10 talks about supplies and essential medicines for reproductive health should be part of all the hospitals and regional government units. 11 talks about integration of responsible parenthood and family planning in the anti-poverty program.
Okay. Section 11, the title is what?
Integration of responsible parenthood and family planning component into an anti-poverty program.
In other words, in the concept of the RH Act of ARMM, the family planning is an integrated anti-poverty program.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the Legislative Assembly sees nothing wrong with the fact that one way of combating poverty is to introduce family planning. That is the concept in the ARM.
But that is
correct?
That is the concept under 292.
Yes, that's in the concept in the ARM.
Yes, yes.
Right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you have not brought any action to strike down this law.
None, Your Honor.
Correct. So this law is valid as it stands.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So we have already looked at section 3, paragraph H. It says that that there shall be what's the language again? That there shall be consideration without bias of all effective, natural, and modern methods of family planning. Then you have an enumeration of the kinds of infrastructure, budgeting, and even the provision that is required to be put up by the ARM. And it is even said there that family planning is considered as an integrated part of anti-poverty.
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct? Okay. What about the teaching of reproductive health care? Go to section 15, please.
I will read the entire provision.
Section 15, reproductive,
Yes, reproductive
health
health
care
care
education.
shall be taught by trained teachers and or Arabic lecturers in formal and non-formal educational systems starting at the adolescent stage.
Starting when?
Adolescent stage.
Okay, so reproductive health care starting in the adolescent stage. Okay? Then, what about free instructions on responsible parenthood in section 16? You go to section 16.
Additional duty of the local population officer.
Okay. Okay, go.
Each local population officer of every city, municipality shall furnish free instruction, information on responsible parenthood, family planning, breastfeeding, infant situation, nutrition, and other relevant aspects of this act to all applicants for marriage license and for solemnization of marriage.
Okay. So, even a certificate of compliance is required in order that you may get married
Yes,
in the
sure.
arm. Okay. Then, let's go to the training of barangay health workers under section 17.
Barangay health workers and other community-based workers shall undergo training on promotion of reproductive health.
Okay. So, even barangay health workers are required to be trained to promote reproductive health care. Okay, section 18. What about the approach to persons with disabilities?
Cities and municipalities must ensure that barriers to reproductive health services for persons with disabilities are obliterated in the following manner.
Okay. What about a region-wide information campaign under section 19?
Department of Health, Bureau of Information, as well as religious and indigenous tribal leaders shall initiate and sustain a region-wide multimedia campaign.
Now, this is quite an extensive program of education, financing, and creation of all infrastructure. Don't you agree?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So now, what is the basis? If this is the approach of the Regional Legislative Assembly of ARM, why should we listen to the two petitioners that you are representing and strike down the national RH law simply because they believe that in a general sense, and you have not even formally addressed this in a reply to the comment of the respondents, that it is in fact violative of the Constitution. If this is the state of the law in the ARM, what basis do we have to believe that your clients represent the legal status of reproductive health law in the ARM?
Your Honor, if I may start. As far as petitions are concerned, their standing is that of constituents of the ARM. Their sole purpose in filing this petition is to protect this particular law as compared to RA 10354. Their intent really
But they have never said that there's any problem with them having their ARM Reproductive Health Act together with the national legislation.
well, precisely.
I have not heard any official statement coming from the ARM.
I will
stating
admit that, Your Honor. That
In fact, when I saw this, I was quite surprised that it is quite a radical approach to family planning, where they made a very upfront discussion that in fact it has to be integrated with any anti-poverty program in the ARM.
as we mentioned, Your Honor, the petitioners acted on their own. As far as
So they are really not representing anybody.
they're representing, they're
They're
standing.
not even representing the ARM residents. They're just representing themselves.
Us residents feeling that they are doing it for the service of the people in ARM because they feel that the law itself is all-encompassing. Rather than waiting for the ARM to approach them, they decided to file this petition on their own.
Okay. Do you have a copy of the 2003 fatwa on reproductive health and family planning? Can you read
Unfortunately, Your
the
Honor,
second full paragraph of the fatwa?
I will admit, Your Honor, that I do not have
Okay,
the complete
you don't
text.
have a copy?
Of the complete-
I will read it to you. It's in one of the annexes in the submissions of the parties. National data indicate that the Philippines, 10 women die every day from causes related to pregnancy and childbirth. Maternal mortality ratio is found highest in the ARM. and northern Mindanao at 200 to 300 maternal deaths per 100,000 live births. Okay, third paragraph. Infant mortality rate in ARM is also very high at 55 deaths per 1,000 live births, compared to the national rate of 35 deaths per 1,000 live births. This is the fatwa that was being, I think, earlier referenced by Justice Leonen. Am I correct? Justice Leonen, this is the fatwa. Okay? In response, meaning to maternal deaths and infant deaths, the government and non-NGOs have been implementing reproductive health and family planning programs in various parts of the country, including Muslim Mindanao. That's the fourth paragraph. The fifth paragraph. Assembly of the Rule Iftar of the Philippines confronted with the issue of whether or not RH and family planning as implemented in the Philippines are in accord with the teachings of Islam. Okay? Paragraph 7. Assembly does not find anything objectionable with the above definition of reproductive health, which is the International Conference on Population and Development definition, as well as the following implications of reproductive health that people have the right to understand, including that people have the right to understand and enjoy their own sexuality within the legal framework of marriage and are able to have satisfying and safe sex life with their legitimate spouse, etc. And the right to remain free of disease or death associated with sexuality and reproduction. Okay, several paragraphs down. 2 pages down. Family planning in this sense is not incompatible with its nature and is not disagreeable to national conscience and is not forbidden by Sharia, if not prescribed by it and sought after. The Quran fixed the lactation period at 2 full years, and Prophet warned against feeding a baby from the milk of a pregnant woman. 1 paragraph down from the previous. Sunnah reveals that the principle of preventing pregnancy was evident in the practice which the Prophet allowed his followers. This refers to azil or coitus interruptus, and the number of hadith regarding this practice, meaning it's understood to refer to using means of preventing pregnancy. Okay? Several paragraphs down and 1 page later. The preservation of human species is unquestionably the primary objective of marriage, and such preservation requires continued reproduction. However, it allows Muslims to plan their families due to valid reasons and recognized necessities. 1 paragraph down. Grand Imam of Al-Shaqar, Sheikh, etc. stated that a thorough review of the Quran revealed no text prohibiting the prevention of pregnancy or diminution of the number of children. 3 pages later, all methods of contraception are allowed as long as they are safe, legal, in accordance with the Islamic Sharia, and approved by a credible physician, preferably a Muslim, for the benefit of both the mother and the child. And then, its last paragraph, the Assembly therefore finds that reproductive family and health and family planning, as practiced under valid reasons and recognized necessities, are in accordance with the teachings of Islam. So again, I find it difficult to understand what kind of interests your clients represent other than their exclusive position as citizens and taxpayers and residents of ARM. Is that correct? There is no other tangible interest that I can hold on to?
Their interest really is to ensure the autonomy of ARM by making sure that this law, that the current RH law, whether they agree with it or not, will be respected rather than RA 10354.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.